Hey, what's happening? It is March 1st, 2023. Great day to be alive. I want to talk about an album that was released exactly 50 years ago today. So March 1st, 1973. An album that remains off and on the Billboard Top 200 charts. So it's remained on that list off and on, like I said, 972 different times. I don't think there's any other album that's even close to that. It is also number 15 on the best-selling vinyl records ever. So with that introduction, if you don't already know, it's this one, Pink Floyd, The Dark Side of the Moon. Huge, monumental record. So I'm not a huge Pink Floyd fan, but I'll tell you a little bit about this particular record. It's kind of cool, so look at that. This was my father's. So, quick little story about this. I was in college and I went back and saw my dad, and we were going into a grocery store, and my dad's kind of talkative like I am. And so a guy was walking by, and my dad and him start, going back and forth on conversation. I'm just kind of standing there, right? Don't know who the guy is. So he asked my dad who I was, and my dad said, well, it's Luke. And he goes, no way. He's like, I remember when he was just a little baby listening to this actual same record that I'm holding right here on my dad's turntable. So now I own it. I'm super stoked. It's a gatefold. Look how cool this is. So I really like this design. I don't know if they sell these anymore. This is such a classic record. But so you have obviously the light going into the prism, and then you have, the colors of the rainbow. Roy G. Biv, red, orange, yellow, green, blue, violet. And then in here, so the green is like the little heartbeat that's going up and down. I just think that's so awesome. And then the back. So it's kind of the reverse image. So whoever did the design on this record, they just blew it out of the water. A little bit about the record. So like 4 or 5 years prior to this, they had a band member by the name of Syd Barrett, and I think he had basically like a mental breakdown, and he was kicked out of the band. And so I think when this one, Dark Side of the Moon, was recorded, they said that this album kind of spoke to mental health issues, kind of, about Syd Barrett and kind of his struggles. I don't think the guy was ever to fully recover. And so there's speculation that it was drug induced, and maybe some of the fame that he was kind of enjoying from the early Pink Floyd days. But, this song kind of, or this album, I should say. So, several songs on this one kind of talks about conflict, greed. There's a song called Money, which I'll get into in a second. Time, and then death. And then, of course, the mental illness piece. So I just want to run through the song list real quick in case you don't know. And I'll be honest, I've not listened to this record a whole lot, just maybe once all the way through. But a cool little tidbit about this. So a lot of folks, if you've ever seen the movie Wizard of Oz, supposedly there's a starting point where you can turn the volume down on the Wizard of Oz and then hit play on Pink Floyd, Dark Side of the Moon, and it's supposed to go along with the movie. So who found that out? I have no idea, but it's this kind of cool little folklore, or some of this urban internet stuff, kind of going around. So Alan Parsons of the Alan Parsons Project, he was part of this album, and I remember him saying that it's all kind of hogwash. He said, you can put any movie on mute and play an album, and at some point there's going to be different parts of the movies that's just going to, just due to perfect timing, it might make sense. So he, Alan Parsons is not buying into that theory. There's a lot of folks that have fun with it, and they do think that that's part of this grand scheme of things. So I've never watched Wizard of Oz on mute and listened to Pink Floyd, Dark Side of the Moon. Maybe someday I'll experience that, I don't know. So the track list, side one, starts off with Speak to Me. So kind of my opinion on Pink Floyd. They're kind of just like this cerebral kind of, I don't know, their style is just really, it's kind of out there. And so the first song, Speak to Me, kind of drifts into that. Next song is Breathe, and Breathe is, it's a nice little second song to get the album flowing. And then it goes into On the Run, and then my favorite song on this record is Time. That's song number 4. And of course, I always like to sprinkle in little, my favorite band, Avery Brothers, little tidbits about that. So when I was in Savannah, Georgia back in 2017, I saw the Avery Brothers play back-to-back nights in Savannah at the Johnny Mercer Theater. Awesome venue. So I urge you to try to make it down there sometime. But they covered the song Time by Pink Floyd, and Seth Avett, one of the brothers, just absolutely destroyed, the guitar. He just was just slamming it. So Time is my favorite song on this record, and I think lyrically it's pretty brilliant, and there's just nice guitars, and just the sound is almost perfect. And then it goes into The Great Gig in the Sky, which is a really fun song to end side 1 on the album. And there's a guest vocal, which is fascinating and phenomenal. And then there's a good saxophone on that one, if I remember right. So that's the first 5 songs. Goes into side 2, Money, which I know Money's been played quite a bit. I think it might have been on a TV show, I can't remember, kind of like the opening. Well, obviously that's the song that talks about greed, and I think people say money is what makes the world go around, and there's, kind of sucks, but it's kind of true. So Money is first song on side 2, goes into Us and Them. That's a really fun song. And then 3 is Any Color You'd Like, 4 Brain Damage, 5 Eclipse. So that is my record. So this is the actual one that my dad had when I was a kid. I wasn't even born when he bought it. Wasn't even born yet. But look at me now. I'm a grown-up. So anyway, I did want to talk about the 50th birthday party for Pink Floyd, Dark Side of the Moon. Hope you're all doing well. I hope if you watch this video, you like, subscribe, and come along with me for the ride. I love talking about music, all different sorts. While I'm not a big Pink Floyd fan, I do appreciate good art. And obviously these guys have had huge commercial success. Obviously number 15 best-selling vinyl record ever. That speaks for itself. And then all those weeks on the Billboard top 200 sales. On a slow week, they sell 8,000 to 9,000 records a week. I think any band would love to sell that amount every week, and they've been doing it for 50 years. Quite remarkable. Anyway, peace and chicken grease. I hope you're all doing good. Until next time.